Hello everyone, in this video we're gonna create a function that can swap values. How do you do that? Well, simple. We're gonna have a function called swap, okay, and it's gonna return a value. Alright, and actually it's not gonna return anything. Make it void. So I'm gonna make it void and I'm gonna call it swap. Alright, so it's gonna swap values and we're gonna pass in two values, alright, two parameters. We're gonna call it x, okay, int x and int y, and we're gonna pass them by reference. What that means is that we're gonna pass their memory addresses or their memory locations like that. Okay, so that's what it is. Now here I'm gonna say int m1 is equal to 3, int m2 is equal to 4. Okay, now I'm gonna see out this all out. Okay, I'm gonna see out. I'm gonna say m1 is, and I'm gonna see out m1. Then I'm gonna say m2 is, and I'm gonna see out m2. Okay, I need a space there. So you can see it's gonna print out 3 and 4, right? So m1 is 3, m2 is 4. Sure. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create some code. I'm gonna write some code inside of this which are gonna swap x, and which is gonna swap m and m2, m1 and m2. Okay, so 4 would actually go into m1 and 3 would actually come into m2. Alright, so we're gonna swap their values. Now the way to do this is like this. We're gonna create another variable, a carrier called z, okay, a third variable. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say int z, okay, I'm gonna say z, and I'm gonna take z's value, I'm gonna assign it into x. I'm actually gonna take x's value, assign it into z, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take x, alright, which is the first variable that is passed. Okay, I'm gonna assign it into I'm gonna assign y's value to it, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take y, because now y's value has gone into x, so we don't need we can overwrite y, so we can write over it essentially, and we're gonna pass z, so z's value which was in x, okay, we took x out, we passed it into z. What we did is then we destroyed the value in x and we put a new value with the value of y in x. We overwrite x. Then since y's value is passed into x, we can now go ahead and overwrite y's value. We can overwrite y and assign z's, which was x's value into y. So essentially now what happens is that x is in y, right here, and here you can see that y is now x. So x is the new y and y is the new x. Okay, so that's the thing. Now what we do is actually we run the code. Actually we call the function, sorry, swap. Okay, so we're calling now, and I'm gonna pass in m1 for x, and I'm gonna pass in m2 in y. Okay, so now I'm gonna see out. I'm gonna call the same function now. Actually, I'm gonna call the same line of code there, and let's see if it works. Let me just put an endl, by the way. Alright, and it gives us an error because we forgot the semicolon. Okay, so let's run the code, and you can see that the values are swapped now. What happened here? Well, what we did is that now m1, you can see previously was a 3 and m2 was a 4, but now after calling the swap function, m1 became 4 and m2 became 3. Okay, so we swapped their values now. So that's how it is, simple as that. We passed by reference. So when you pass by reference, what happens essentially is that things get a bit different. If I were to remove the pass by reference, then do it, then you can see that it actually doesn't work because it doesn't swap the values. because what we did is we swapped the memory addresses around and we assigned them to different variables. That's what we did when we pass by reference. Okay, when we pass by reference, by doing that and that, we passing in memory locations, and we put the memory locations, okay, we swap the memory locations around, and that's how it works. We put the memory location of X into Z, we put the, and essentially we made the memory location of X into Y, and then Y's memory location was X. So that's cool.